Right. So have you ever had that feeling where like you want to just chill, but then also have this like energy bubbling up inside, kind of like a weird mix?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
We're going to dive into a track that nails both of those vibes like at the same time. And it's called Ready or Not, Pain Inside by Jay Blakcs.
Oh, this is a cool one.
Yeah.
He's up and coming, I'd say from Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
But get this, he's originally from Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
And you can really hear that blend in his music, like reggae and hip hop, and he even throws in like a little soulful melody too.
It's so cool, like a fusion.
Yeah.
And this song that we're looking at, Ready or Not, Pain Inside, it's actually like a whole new take on the Fugees hit, you know.
Oh yeah.
But get this. It samples Enya's Boadicea.
Whoa, talk about a musical family tree right there.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty ambitious to take on, such big tracks like that. You always run the risk of comparisons.
For sure, for sure. But before we even get into like the song itself, let's talk about Jay Blakcs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The source material mentions that, he found solace in music while growing up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, it wasn't always easy.
It wasn't. And there's that quote, where he says, it's just me reflecting on my past.
Yeah.
Music becomes that outlet, right? You process,
totally
those life experiences through it.
And I think that's something that like a lot of people can relate to,
Yeah, for sure.
music as a way to cope, to find some peace in the chaos.
Absolutely. Yeah. Music is powerful like that.
For sure.
But what's really interesting here is how he takes those experiences and then layers them with these like super well-known songs.
Yeah.
Like he's building this bridge between his own story and something that we all kind of recognize.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to talk about the song.
Let's get into it.
I listened with my headphones on, like you suggested. And, oh my gosh, those opening synths.
Oh, yeah.
They're something else.
They're really something.
The source material calls them lush ambient synths.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, that is a pretty accurate description.
They create this like really serene atmosphere, almost like a meditation.
Yeah.
It's funny, I actually use ambient music sometimes to focus.
Really?
Yeah, it's like it clears out all the clutter in my head.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah.
It's like a sonic reset button.
Exactly.
But then Jay Blakcs' voice comes in.
Yeah.
And it's described as having this raw essence, which I totally agree with.
Oh, yeah.
There's a vulnerability there, a realness that cuts through those smooth sounds.
And it's interesting how his vocal style doesn't clash with the electronic elements at all.
It doesn't.
Like they're meant to go together,
Yeah.
You get this sense of like rawness and emotion, but it's layered over this incredibly polished production.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's like he found this perfect balance, between vulnerability and strength.
Yeah.
And it really comes through in like both his lyrics and how he produces the song.
Totally. And then there's that beat drop
Oh, yeah.
at like the 0.30 mark. The source material describes it as like a consistent drum beat
Yeah.
with a hip hop feel,
Yeah.
but it's not like overwhelming at all.
No, not at all. It's like it adds this pulse, this energy, but it doesn't like mess with the chill vibe,
I know.
A source actually uses the words like sharp and systematic
Oh.
to describe the rhythm.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like that, sharp and systematic.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how he's taking like all these different influences,
Yeah.
like all these different pieces of his life, and like crafting them into something that's like so cohesive.
Exactly. It's like he's creating order out of chaos.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's like a reflection of his own journey in a way.
Wow.
Of like finding his voice amidst all these different experiences he's had.
That's so cool. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about how like we all have those pieces. Those influences that make us who we are.
Absolutely.
It's like we're all just walking remixes.
We are, yeah.
We're all remixes.
That's such a good way to put it.
And I think that's what makes, a song like this so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just the music, it's the story behind it.
For sure.
It's the journey that it represents.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about the opening,
Yeah.
the vocals that beat drop. What about like the overall flow of the song?
The flow.
Yeah, like the source material really emphasizes how consistent and engaging it is.
It really is. There's this like constant energy that pulls you through.
Yes.
But it's not like repetitive or anything.
Right.
There are these subtle changes, like these little variations that just keep you hooked.
It's so true. Like it keeps evolving.
Yeah.
But it always feels grounded in that like original tranquil vibe we were talking about.
Exactly. And I think that's where Jay Blakcs' skill as a producer really shines through, you know?
Yes, right.
Like he's managed to create this sonic experience.
Yeah.
That's both like dynamic and cohesive, which is not easy to do.
Not at all. And it makes you wonder, like, what genre even is this?
I know, right?
The source material mentions chill hop and ambient hip hop.
Right.
But honestly, it feels like something totally different.
Yeah, it's like its own thing.
Totally.
He's defying categorization.
He is.
Which I think that just speaks to how original he is, you know?
I know.
Like he's not trying to fit in a box.
Yeah.
He's creating his own sound.
It's so cool. And it makes me think about how we always try to put things into boxes in life.
We do. It's a human thing.
You know, it's like, why do we do that?
I know.
But sometimes the most interesting things are the things that don't fit, you know?
They're the ones that like break the mold.
Yeah.
And that's where the magic happens.
Yes.
When we break out of those limitations and just embrace the messiness and the beauty of it all, you know?
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about like the music, the production, you know, like the way he bends genres. But let's get back to Jay Blakcs' story. Oh.
The source mentions, you know, that he grew up facing challenges and finding solace in music.
Right, and I think that's reflected in the title of the song, you know, pain inside.
Yeah.
Like it hits at this deeper layer, you know?
Right.
This vulnerability beneath the surface.
You know, it is interesting because the music itself feels so calm.
It does.
So serene.
Yeah.
But then that title, Pain Inside,
Yeah.
it suggests like a whole different story.
It does. It's like this juxtaposition, you know? You have this like beautiful, serene soundscape, these like smooth vocals, but then there's this undercurrent of something else.
Deeper.
Something deeper, something more complex.
Yeah, and that's where the title Pain Inside really hits home.
It does.
You know, it's like he's inviting us to listen not just to the music,
Right.
but to the story behind it,
Yeah.
the emotions he's putting into it.
It's a reminder that even when things look or sound perfect on the surface, there's often more to the story.
That's so true.
And that's something we can all learn from, you know, both in music and in life.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, you know, even when things sound upbeat and chill, there's this whole other layer going on underneath.
Right. It's that contrast that makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it just draws you in.
Totally. And that's what makes it so relatable, I think.
For sure.
It's like we all have those layers,
We do.
you know, and that's where the title like Pain Inside
Yeah.
really, really hits home for me.
Yeah, it makes you think.
You know, it's like he's inviting us to listen to not just the music,
Right.
but like the story behind it,
Exactly.
the emotions he's like pouring into it.
It's powerful stuff.
It is. So if you haven't already, highly recommend checking out Ready or Not Pain Inside by Jay Blakcs.
You got to check it out.
The link is in the show notes.
Yeah. And as you listen, just think about what like really spoke to you.
Yeah.
You know, was it that blend of genres? Was it the atmosphere? Or maybe it was that message, you know,
Yeah.
of resilience and finding beauty in the midst of pain.
It's a track that really sticks with you,
It does.
even after you've like finished listening to it.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It makes you want to like hear more from him.
For sure. Yeah, you want to dig deeper into his music.
It's like a reminder that music can be so much more than just entertainment.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it could be a source of comfort.
It can be a way to connect with other people.
It could be a powerful way to like express yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can even be like a shortcut to understanding ourselves a little bit better.
It really can be. Yeah.
This deep dive was brought to you by Blakcs.
Blakcs.
Because sometimes you need a shortcut to understanding the world around you.